And the other difference is that whereas when you only work on the first model of leadership, now you do as I say, which is authoritarian, here is where you become authoritative. It's not just about being a good, strong leader or good emotional leader. If you're an emotional leader, but you do not know how systems work, it's going to be useless. If you type the words aspects or elements of leadership on any browser of a search engine, you'll end up getting a whole list of qualities, of virtues, of good behaviors and attitudes that a leader should have in order to be a good leader. Okay. Now, these qualities today are mostly emotional, which is good because the way a leader was before, very authoritarian, was basically, in a case of an organization, it's not just that, it could be a family, it could be an association, it could be a country, in politics, for example. But I will stick to organizations. It basically is, this is my company, you do as I say. It couldn't but get authoritarian. It's inevitable if that's the kind of leadership that you have. See, this is what we would call the physical material level, the very, very first level, which everything is all about production, logistics, sales and administration and all that stuff. And it's like a machine. Everything has to work as a clockwork. Okay, so there's no discussion about that. I focus on making this machine go on great. Now, all these new qualities, these new characteristics have made organizations make a large leap forward. So it's not just about the technical stuff. It's about respect. It's about connection. It's about all kinds of things. It's about courage. It's about determination. It's about motivation and all that stuff, which is great. It's fantastic. This is what goes on today. This is what most coaching and training is done in the world for leaders. Well, I say that right now, this is not enough. It is still not that clear yet that it's not enough, but it will get very soon. Why? Because the world is getting more and more systemic, more and more organic, which means that it's not just a machine that you have to learn how to make it run, because you can use emotional intelligence as a way of getting what you want at the machine stage, at the first stage. It could be an unconscious manipulation. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, don't forget to click on the like button. And if you don't want to miss more videos like this that can contribute to your personal and professional growth, subscribe now to the channel. Okay? Now, when you understand that, and you understand that an organization, a company is a system, then you have to change your attitude. That can no longer work. So first the focus was on execution, then it's in a relationship. Today, it's about organicity. In other words, that an organization is one organ or a body with many organs that work organically among themselves. So one cannot do without the other. That's what an organization is. So we have to take that a step further, not just being a nice leader, but a very conscious and aware leader about what an organization is and making it run that way. So that being said, we get into the topic of sustainability. Now, we understand the word sustainability, which was not used very, very much until some years ago. But it's now used for climate change, about a stronger consciousness about the health of our planet and stuff like that. That's physical sustainability. Now, here we are talking about what makes an organization sustainable. In other words, what makes an organization run organically as a living thing, just like our planet. So the very first thing that will help you have more sustainability is to paying attention to people's dignity. I'm not talking about respect here anymore. It's far more than that. It's not enough to respect people. That was okay for emotional stuff, soft skills. Respect people. Okay, you understand if you have to treat them in a certain way. That's not enough. Today, people want more, and the newest generations are asking for that already. They've made surveys and studies on this. They're not going to take the shit that we used to take 34 years ago. They want to feel that they're worthy, that they're being considered, that they're unique. They want to know that their contribution in an organization is going to be different from that of any other. Okay, so it's my contribution. Nobody can do it as I can. Not as quality is concerned, but it's just different. Of course, you also need quality. It's not enough. Well, I'm unique, so I can do whatever I want. I'm not talking about that. But still, people must understand that they need to have their worth recognized and developed. The second thing for a sustainable leadership is to be an open book. An open book doesn't mean that you tell people your private things, telling people your problems, your troubles, that you have with your wife, with your children. Who cares? Okay, if you're a friend enough, you can do that. But as a leader in an organization, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about intentions. In other words, what is your intention about this organization? What are you using or what are you doing with this organization, which I'm a part of? I, as a collaborator, as a follower, that I'm part of. This concerns me. What is your final aim? Where are we going? Why? That, I mean, we have to be transparent and be an open book in that sense. The third thing that we have to consider is to seek a deep bond with others. It's not enough to have dignity. You also need a strong bond with people. Okay, they want to feel that they're connected with you. This is another important thing, emotionally. The fourth thing is that you must promote continuous learning. Okay, if you want your organization to grow, you need training. You need to learn continually. I mean, things are going so fast, and everybody involved has to grow. The whole organization together in different things, perhaps, but still everybody has to grow. The fifth thing is to work on all areas of the environment of an organization. Okay, not just selling, not just producing, not just logistics, not just administration. The whole company has to come out. And it has to grow together in harmony, harmoniously. You don't just say, okay, we focus on sale because that's where I get the money from. That's not going to work. Or just on production because that is what we're great in, with quality. No, the entire organization. Otherwise, you're gonna have problems sooner or later because it's not working as an organism anymore. Then you have to keep moving dynamically, mentally, especially. Find out new things, evolve. Where do you want to go? To update your mission if necessary, your vision to make it longer and stronger and clearer. So being, especially from a mental point of view, to be very dynamic. And of course, the last thing is to practice alternation of roles. In other words, you're a leader and you're stuck with that. And your collaborators or your followers, and you're stuck with that. No. Sometimes you become the football, you as a leader, and you let them lead. And I'm not talking here about, everybody, then everybody's the same. No, it's that you give them a chance. You are the leader and you stay leader, but you're just changing tactics. See, okay, what would you do in my, if you were me, what would you do in this situation? Let them lead. Let's see what answer they give you. Challenge them. That's what I'm talking about. Or sometimes you teach, and sometimes you have to learn from your team. Sometimes you have to talk, and sometimes you have to listen. Sometimes you have to apply tough love, and sometimes you apply soft love. There has to be some kind of alternates in the way you guide your company, your organization. This is the difference between this and just emotional intelligence, because you are working according to how systems work. That's the difference. And the other difference is that whereas when you only work on the first model of leadership, now you do as I say, which is authoritarian, here is where you become authoritative. It's not just about being a good, strong leader or good emotional leader. If you're an emotional leader, but you do not know how systems work, it's going to be useless. If you want to become authoritative and have people say, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. It's not just about work. He knows how the world is working, which makes a hell of a difference. Okay, so practice these 7 pillars and perhaps let me know what you think about it. See you next time.